Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Brick by Brick podcast. Joined today, I have Jaden, or JD0G, if you guys follow him over on Twitter, joining us on the podcast. Jaden, how you doing today?
Dude, I'm doing good. OpTic won their first series of the day. I'm chilling.
That's right. For those that are listening, we literally just finished watching the OpTic LAG match for the Toronto major right now, and OpTic came out on top with a clean 3-0. How many maps did we? We only dropped one round of control.
Yep.
And two rounds of search, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, solid display. Pro loot looking real good. So
Yeah.
JD0G, I ask everybody that comes on the podcast the same introduction question. What does the green wall mean to you?
Family. I feel like I've always had the same thought process. Not as like just like the members of it. Like how like I feel like they're not just like members of OpTic, they're members like they're family. Mm-hmm. Like you see Hector, you see Seth, you see Formal, they're all like family. And I feel like same thing with like all the fans. Like I go there and I know like certain people.
Yeah.
And stuff. And it's just like I went out to dinner at the major one with fans here, like other fans. It's like it feels more like a family than a fan base, which I think is always great.
Wild is like I've been to 4 events now, 4 or 5 events now, and like I usually go with other people. So like I've never really gone and hung out with other fans after like day one or like any of the days, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
But like I do feel like if you all went out to dinner and just hanging out and everything, it would have a similar like team dinner vibes of like the pictures and stuff that you see in the vlogs, like before the tourney.
And it was also after a win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like,
the
energy's good and it has like there's vibes like family dinner vibes and like these different type of vibes. It's just a different type of feeling.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm able, I feel like I met a ton of people at Major 1. I feel like I meet a lot of people at every event, but Major 1 was different. Obviously, you were there. I feel like if I'm able to make it a champs this year, which fingers crossed, then it'll definitely feel like that just because the amount of people. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like I found my place in the green wall finally after, 12 years.
12 years for you?
Yeah. I started watching early 2010. So
nice.
I've been around for a while. What about you?
I'm coming up on that. I can't say green wall because I found it off because it's Gumby.
Okay.
BO2 videos.
Okay.
But like at the time, like I wasn't like actually watching competitive because I was doing other stuff. I was playing basketball, like that type of stuff. Yeah. So like my dad was like the coach for our high school.
Okay.
Then I think it was Ghost. Yeah, Ghost heavily. I started watching more competitive COD.
That was a good year for comp.
Yeah.
Dude, Ghost SND.
Is when I was all in.
See, AW was like the last game that I actually watched a lot of. Black Ops 3, I was a little bit busier, didn't watch so much. Actually, no, IW I watched a lot of. Yeah, I watched most of IW. Black Ops 3 is probably the only. That's like the year of the jetpacks that I kind of
missed out on.
Yeah, like I didn't intentionally skip it, but life was just busy. But yeah, IW was. So I guess IW is like the last year that I actually watched a ton. And then what was after IW? We went World War II. Didn't watch very much, which I kind of understandably it was a little sad.
World War II was
and the game sucked. I didn't like it.
The game sucked. I did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
Like, not just because OpTic was losing, but because of I didn't like the game.
Yeah.
Like the style of it. So I spent all of World War II, like the last half of it or whatever, playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
So
I was still mostly playing Fortnite at the time. After World War II, we got Black Ops 4, I believe. Yeah. World War II to Black Ops 4, and then Black Ops 4 to Modern Warfare. Yeah. Black Ops 4, I didn't watch a ton. I watched when I could. I actually played that game a lot more than I thought I played it. That was the last game I like heavily grinded camos, got dark matter and everything.
Nice.
And then Modern Warfare, Huntsman, I watched as much as I could. Like I started getting back into it more. And then we got Cold War. Same thing. Like I watched as much as I could, but like with work and everything, and like I always work weekends. So I end up missing a lot of matches, unfortunately. And then this year I've been decent so far. I missed most of Major 2, but I was at Major 1. I caught a couple of matches at the Pro-Am, and I missed yesterday's matches, but I'm on par for today. So
yeah, sometimes it's hard. That's what I've learned. I have spent last weekend, I think it was. Yeah, last week I went to Fort Myers to go see Fort Myers, Florida, to go see a movie, the new Top Gun.
Yo, and I just saw that. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, amazing movie.
Amazing movie. It was so good. We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back to that.
I'm a movie nut, so like.
Oh, me too. Don't worry. I love the movies. But no, so I went to go see that, and I was there, and I told my friend that I went to go see it with. I told her, I'm like, this is the first time in 6 years I missed OpTic play.
Really?
First time in 6 years.
See,
I have canceled dates, dances to not go. And
I like that. I'm hyped about that because like that was, how old are you?
20 right now.
20. Okay. See, so I just turned 26 in April, but like from modern or from I'm like an elder in this here community.
Nah, man, you're looking good for 26.
Thank you. But like I watched the first actual competitive tournament I watched technically was COD XP 2011, I guess. I almost went to that. Should have gone. But real competitive, UMG Chicago 2012. It was the first tournament of Black Ops 2. And I didn't miss a tournament. Black Ops 2, I watched every map. Like every team that played. I literally watched 100% of the Black Ops 2 season. And I watched every match that OpTic played, plus some, from the first tournament of BO2 through, I believe, AW. I don't think I missed a single match. And then obviously Black Ops 3 we talked about. I kind of skipped it on accident. Not on accident. Life was just busy. 6
Sometimes
years though. That's how long was my stretch? Like, BO2. I think mine's like 4 years. BO2, Ghost.
Well, actually, maybe more.
AW.
Actually, 7 years because I started in 2015.
So mine's like a 3-year stretch.
Yeah.
Damn.
So from the start of AW,
that's insane.
To last weekend was the first time I've ever missed an OpTic match.
That's insane. That's a crazy stat. Like,
and I knew it. Like I felt it as soon as I was on my way to go get dinner. And I'm just like,
yeah, dude, I've had a feel like that. That's like OpTic's like my number one thing that I'm into, right? Like movies is tied. The amount of days I've requested off from work and stuff. By the way, I just noticed you're wearing AirPod Maxes, and I'm jealous.
Okay, this was a Christmas gift.
Still,
well
done, sir. Dude, they sound incredible, I'm shocked at like the comfort of them being like an all steel frame and everything. They're actually like the way they've designed that headband is really lightweight.
It's probably my favorite like headset. Like I've loved my Astros in the past, but I use these like when I travel to Major 1.
Yeah. I would use
durability. Then I also use it for my actual setup because like, the audio is so good. Yeah.
Do you game in those?
Yeah. Because the audio is so good.
How's the what A40? What Astros did you have? A40s?
I've had A40s and A50s.
And you like those more? I'm not shocked. I mean, you're the first I've heard of someone gaming in.
Yeah, no, I'm unique on that. I've had a lot of people say that.
Dude, that's bad. I'm an Apple fanboy, so. Anyway, circling back around, dude, I request time off for movies all the time. Like, oh yeah, no, if a movie's coming out, like, if it's any big movie, so pretty much anything Star Wars, anything Marvel, it depends on like outside of Marvel and Star Wars, like probably half of Disney stuff depends on what it is, and then just other big movies, like I'm going and seeing it premiere night, at the very least premiere weekend.
Yeah.
The only one that in recent times that I didn't go to like the earliest showing available was, what was it? Well, I guess I've skipped some of the Marvel stuff lately.
Yeah.
There was one of the bigger Marvel movies that maybe was it No Way Home? No, No Way Home. I saw.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
No, I saw that day opening day. Oh, you know what? I think it was No Way Home. I didn't see it the early. I saw it the day it came out, not the day before. Which I always go to the earliest available showing, and like I'm West Coast, so usually if a movie comes out on a Friday, that earliest available showing is Thursday at 5 or 6 p.m. And that's my showing for the last I don't know.
Yeah. I see. Like I try my hardest not to work on Saturdays or Sundays. Those are my days to myself.
I wish
and stuff, and especially for like OpTic, like watching tournaments.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like when OpTic stop playing, I use those days to like watch Netflix or movies.
Yeah.
All the time.
See, I reached a point, and I've mentioned this a few times in past episodes and just in various chats with people and stuff. Like, I reached a point where I tried to focus on creating content and not consuming content so much, just because like you only have so much time in a day.
Yeah.
And when I made that mental switch, I almost never watch streamers anymore. Like in the last probably 3 or 4 years, I've probably watched less than 20 hours of streams. Probably less than 10.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch for like 30 minutes here and there.
That's the mindset.
And then like the process, I watch the process because it's the process. Plus it's like, even if it's longer, it comes out so sporadically, it's like once every few months. But like there was a point, this is like in the Scuff House, like I watched the beginning of Vision heavily, but then once it started ramping up and the episodes started going from like 15, 20, 30 minutes to like an hour, I just could stop watching. You know, it's a good mindset to have, but I do feel like I miss out on certain bits and things.
I know that mindset. Like I know people with that mindset. I know people that have done content for like a living and they had that mindset, but it's also like I could never have it because I like it's like my entertainment. Like I don't watch TV anymore. Like I'm
like
on my free time I sit down and watch stream.
That's why I want to start making content around movies, so that like it contributes. Like it doesn't
to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't feel. Which, granted, like movies is a free pass. Like movies to me is like I'm always gonna go out of my way. Dude, I remember I almost cried the first time I went to see movies, like after COVID started to like ease up and everything. Mind you, again, in California, this is a state that handled COVID a lot more strictly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, man, once the theaters started opening up again and like movies started coming back to the theaters and like not premiering first on HBO or Disney or something, I was like, and we don't have like a super fancy theater or anything. But like I legit almost started like crying walking through the halls. I was like, dude, this is like, to me, that had the same vibe as like walking in. Anyone that's been to older MLG events, like the Hall of Banners in that opening entrance before you even really get into the venue, like the hallway leading in, walking through the movie theater hallway had the same vibes for me.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love the fucking movies.
Dude, honestly, I live in Florida, like an area that was like did not take COVID.
Yeah, granted, I'm in a part of California that was a little looser.
Yeah. So, no joke, like it was probably like middle of COVID, so like they wanted us to have our mask on and stuff. And this was like probably 6 months after school shut down, so I graduated because COVID hit as right before I graduated.
Yeah.
So it's like 6 months afterwards. So middle of it, it's like they're like, come in, watch the movie, just keep a mask on, keep a few seats, you know. Then, I like sitting down in that seat with popcorn. It was great.
Yeah, like everything about it. I the more I think about it, and like what's weird is I've had a lot of people tell me like I should like do acting, or like I've thought about going to film school, and I'm like I don't know if I'd want to work in the industry, but like. I mean, maybe part of me is very into like the idea of working in the film industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I'm like gaming and streaming and The one thing that Major won, this happened originally at Cold War Champs 2021, and then again at Major 1, where like the thing that I want the most almost is the feeling of people like coming up asking for like pictures or autographs. Like I had some random dude, Assassin on Twitter. He asked me for an autograph at Major 1 because he just assumed I worked for OpTic. And like that was the moment where I was like, oh, so that's what it's like. Yeah, I want a little bit more of that in my life. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a jug.
Yeah.
Like, I almost actually before my junior year of high school, I almost went into Full Sail.
I was looking into Full Sail. I was looking at it for game development and multiplayer testing.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, I grew up for like the longest time wanting to move to LA and shoot movies and stuff.
Hollywood, yeah.
You know, with that whole lifestyle. But then, like, I saw like the reality of it. And like I saw like the politics and like all the extra stuff. I'm like,
yeah. See, I was born in Anaheim. Like, I grew up in Southern California near Anaheim, and the vibes are good, but you're also like, you see a little bit of that. Not so much. It's not like LA. LA is still like an hour and a half away from there, but
yeah. I'm personally, I grew up with the Vanoss gaming.
Okay. Yeah.
Like Vanoss, I Am Wildcat, all of those. Yep. So like I always want that creative ability, and like I feel like me personally, like what OpTic brought to me was that smile, because I found them like when I went into them, I was at a very dark place in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Then so like and another person that helped me out was like Vanoss and them. Yeah. And I thought like that smile that they brought me is this reason I want to get into film was, so I was like, if I could bring that smile to other people. People brought to me, that would mean the world. Like,
yeah, I've had some like pretty dark times. I got a pretty fucked up sense of dealing with shit. So I never had like, I think the Star Wars is like one of the few things, and I guess movies in general, where I'm like, but Star Wars, it's like, it's always been there for me. Like, granted, I'm not good at processing feelings and emotions. Okay, toxic masculinity runs through the veins as we are raised. But
I grew up in the country.
Like, I never, like, OpTic to me was just entertainment, and like I got into them so early when they were still doing sniping, and it was when I got, like, the reason I got into them is because I had some buddies at school that were really good snipers. And like I was new to Call of Duty, and they were trying to show me, and they're like, "Yo, you got to get into like quick scoping. Like it's like the shit, right?" And so I got so addicted to it, I was like looking up all the videos on how to get better, and like being one of the only teams or organizations or people making Call of Duty content back in the day. Like that's how I stumbled into OpTic. So to me, it was just like they were this team of some of the nastiest snipers in Call of Duty. Right, you had D-Treats, you had Predator, Apostle, like Pomage on and off, even Hex. Like you have some crazy snipers back then. So to me, it was never like, you know, dark. Like I've talked to a few people where it's like they basically stumbled in and it was the source of entertainment and smiles during some dark periods of their life. They don't hold that weight for me. But the older I get, the more I just, regardless, and like we live in a pretty fucked up world, right? Like the more I'm like, I need to just like post some more positive stuff. I've been tweeting as often as possible, like before bed. I'm just like, yo, take 5 minutes, like take a breather, like, you know, be grateful, be mindful of yourself. Like shout out Ace, by the way. Aaron Ace, MLG Ace, Halo Pro. He's the guy that I think like that rubbed off on me a little bit. If you follow him on Instagram, he's always posting.
I've seen a few of them. Yeah,
some hippie-esque like yoga type shit. It's rubbed off a little bit, and now I'm tweeting it. So, circling back around, especially now that we're on the topic of listing some players and stuff. Who's your favorite all-time member of OpTic, and who's your favorite current member of OpTic? Does not have to be a pro player. Can be anybody in the org.
Okay, actually, I have an idea for this. I say we exempt Scump.
So normally you can't say hex. So
Okay.
yeah, you can't say hex because but if you want for yours, we can also throw out Scump.
Because Scump would be that person. Because if Scump goes live,
I might have to keep that around for I might have to keep that around for future episodes because of the amount that I hear Scump. Understandably so. Yeah. I mean, he's Scump.
Like, I have tweet notifications on only for Scump. He is the one person that I'll watch all night. He makes me smile so easily. So a favorite member of that's a hard question.
It is.
I feel like Shotzi and Bruce are really good shouts.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know. I almost want to say Hitch.
I've heard Hitch more times than I imagined I would hear him when I first came up with the questions.
I think he's such a positive energy. You know? To be to watch. To me, a person.
I've heard Hitch, like you said, way more times than I would have expected, and understandably so. It's Hitch. He literally is the person that brought Vision to life, and Vision's such a big deal for so many people.
Yeah, and actually, wait, did you ask what my favorite player that Forber member was?
So current and then all time. Because for me, I always have three, right? It's Big Timer, Karma, D Treats. So Big T and Karma, I just can't pick between the two. I want to say Big T. I'm going to say Big T probably a little bit over Karma. But then my all time is D Treats. He's the sniper that I just watched the most back in the day. And from Hex's mouth himself, the greatest sniper to ever play for OpTic and arguably the best sniper in Call of Duty history.
Yeah. See, and I was about to say, if you're talking members that I wish were still members, I would say Methods.
Yeah, if they've spent time,
Zinni, I miss him.
I do so much. Zinni. Zinni's got the vibes.
He's so funny. He's so naturally funny. And I just know, I do think after he retires, he's going to join back on OpTic. And I hope he does.
Yeah.
Because I know that content would be great.
Him, another player that I just always want back on OpTic is Octane. I don't know. I feel like he fits. He does some content. He's a fan. He's a fan of Hex and the graffiti and stuff. He's a good player. I'd like to see him. But also I feel like he really has a home with 100 Thieves or LA Thieves.
Yeah.
So I really think either one of them. But if he retires, I'd like to see him come over as a content creator.
Have you heard anybody give you the name Envoy?
Somewhere in season 1, I can't remember who, but I don't remember if they were an honorable mention or someone's actual top.
See, Envoy's cool. I just don't know about him.
I really liked watching Envoy in Modern Warfare. That was my introduction. I never knew who he was, and just watching him move around on the map. And the little plays he made, especially in that game, was a ton of fun. It was for me, it was a flashback to watching a young Scump.
Yeah. See, it was so awkward for me in Cold War because I remember in BO4 watching him on Gen G. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is nasty. Yeah. I've been watching Envoy and I'm like, this kid has a future. Then when in the offseason, I'm like, what's Hector going to do? The next thing you know, Hector picks up Envoy, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm on board.
It's on Fusion. Yeah.
See,
and I was so happy to be him his first ship.
Yeah.
That was really cool to me.
I like him. I like the way. I mean, it's hard to say because he's not in quite as much content as no one gives you quite as much of an inside look as OpTic does. With Vision
behind the scenes.
And process
plus the vlogs.
So it's hard to tell what kind of mentality Envoy really has, but it seems really likable. He seems like a professional dude that's just about the grind. So I like him.
That's all you can ask for.
So you obviously went to Major 1.
Yes, I did.
What was your first event
ever? BO4 Vegas.
Okay. I feel like that
I
would
was
have been
there
a
for
dope
that
event.
OpTic one. It was crazy. I think that might be one of the best ones.
Like,
It's tied with Major One. It was
yeah.
so crazy.
I went to BO4 Champs, and
Oh, I
that
about went.
that was. I mean, it's shitty that we got. What did we place third? I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Lost United and losers.
but everything about that event is perfectly summed up in the Final Goodbye Crossroads 2 video.
Yeah.
Like anytime I think of that event, I literally think of Hex saying, you know, it had this sort of last champs vibe to it, and it did. But it was something beautiful that I think the closest. Granted, I've only been to 4 or 5 events, but the closest thing to that was Major One. Except for the vibe was different. It's like BO4 champs. The vibe was end of an era, right? MLG or CWL coming to an end. We're about to franchise. You know, all that, the end of OpTic, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Major One, which is almost the opposite of that. It's the beginning of an era.
Yeah.
You know, this is the beginning of their grand story.
This is the first step of a mini.
This is the rebirth. Yeah. And it's an OpTic major. Like,
yeah, which see, I
not,
knew from the
not
start
a
that
major or a tournament where OpTic has the largest fan base because that's all of them. No, this was for
like a true
the fans. Yeah, and Hitch and TST slayed that shit.
Jobs.
Dude, they kept the energy so unbelievably high. Like, that's something that has never been done at another event.
Yeah.
Nothing even close to that. Granted, I didn't go to IW Champs. I feel like the vibes there were obviously better. But, like, that's the first time we've had, like, a proper MC just keeping the crowd alive. And not just during OpTic matches, like, during everything. The entire weekend.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Like, Major One, the reason I knew I was going was because I was planning on going to the Chicago Major.
Same.
In Modern Warfare.
Yep.
But it got canceled because of COVID. And then when I saw the thing pop up, that was like, hey, Major One's going to happen this year in Texas. And I'm like, I have to go.
Yep.
There's no way I'm not going. I bought my ticket before having any sort of hotel, flight. I was like, I just want to lock it in. Then I bought it later. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We're going.
My Major One story is similar. So, you know, was planning for Chicago, got canceled to COVID. I sat on flight credits for 2 years because they kept extending the expiration date. Mind you, they announced the schedule, the CDL schedule for Cold War on, I believe, November 18th. If you go back on Twitter, because I remember like looking it up, it was like sometime like middle / like end of November, they announced the schedule. So I was thinking it's like, okay, I have until December 31st for my flight credits to expire. I just need the schedule so I can book the flights. Bro, they didn't announce the schedule till like the first or second week of January. I lost like $300 some on flight credits.
Yeah.
And what I should have done, but like it was so up in the air, I had no idea what was going on. I should have just like booked a flight with those credits and then like canceled it to like change the flight or whatever, because then I could have still used them.
Yeah.
But regardless, you know, they announced the schedule and I'm like, I'm broke. I'm in debt. I can't go to this major. But like, I've been waiting like 3 years for this.
Yeah,
and like it's the OpTic major. Like it is. Like I've been watching for so like I had to, and so I come home on my lunch break. I live super close to work, and I'm like talking with the girlfriend, and we're looking over, you know, money and everything, and I'm just like refreshing the ticket buying page, and like the VIP section was like sold out, and then you'd see like a ticket pop up, and it'd be sold out, and then you'd see like another one pop up. Yeah. Like I don't know if this was people putting them in their cart and not following through, but I refreshed it. So. I saw one pop up. I bought it, and then afterwards I read like no refunds, and I go, well, I guess I'm going to Texas.
Nice.
I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time off work. I had to request the time off. I had to book the flight still. Like, but at the end of the day, we got it. We got the VIP. Had a great time.
Yeah, I've told multiple people that like Major One was the one event that I wish I would have. If you had to go to an event, Major One. just had this energy to it.
My only event that like I wish I could have gone to is IW Champs.
IW Champs, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, well, second event, it's like IW Champs is the one I wish I could have gone to, or one I wish I did go to, and then the London event was that Black Ops 4 or was that MW?
MW.
It was MW, right? Yeah. What did what's his name say? What do we think of?
No, that was BF4. That was
it BF4?
Ricky, wasn't it?
Shit.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of shit? LG.
Yeah, that event.
Yeah.
So whatever game that was BO4.
That was BF4.
That's like the second one, just because that crowd just seemed, like that would have been so good. And the London events always seem like that, but that one in particular.
Yeah. I've always taken this as an excuse to travel because I've always loved traveling.
Yep.
All right. And like, I'm like, if I can go to like all these different like majors and stuff, I get to go see the world, a little bit more. And also like all this stuff. So like the London is the one like event that I would love to go to.
See, I agree, but like whenever I go to events, I don't really
go out.
I guess Texas is the only one that like I felt like the need or want to go explore, because all the other events I've been to were in LA. Like my first event, Anaheim 2013, and then in order, Anaheim 2013, Anaheim 2019, BO4 Champs 2019, which was at UCLA, Cold War Champs, which was at USC, and then Texas. Yeah. So like 4 out of 5 events I've been to are in Southern California where I grew up. So I'm like, no reason to really go. I already know my spots. Like I go to my taco shop every time. Texas is the first one I felt like, okay, I want to go explore stuff.
Yeah. Oh, do you have like a little thing that you have where it's like when you go, like you want to go like see something? Like me, I have a thing where like every event I go to, like Made City, I have like I like wings, chicken wings.
See, okay, I was gonna say my thing is food. Like if I travel, I have to try foods.
So every time I go anywhere, like Minnesota, I went or whatever, I'll go to like the Buffalo Wild Wings or nearest wing spot. Okay. And I'll try out the wings.
Yeah.
That's what I do every time.
See, I had to hit like when I was in Texas, I had to hit Shake Shack, Whataburger, like places that I just don't have access to.
Yeah. It's
always food for me. Like
food.
I'm a foodie.
Explore the world.
I'm a foodie.
I think I've heard from like the NBA and stuff, like New Orleans. Oh, I'll love a CDL team in New Orleans just so I can go there and eat.
No. So here's the thing, right? I talked about this 2 episodes ago. It was the one with Intel OpTic Texas or BX Token. So he's a chef, and like we talked about food during part of it. And like my thing is, if you look up the best like food cultural hubs in America, numbers 2 through 5 are usually the same, but the order switches. Number 1 is always New Orleans.
Yeah.
On every list.
And the thing I knew is like NBA players, NFL players, everyone always asks them like, "Where's the best place to eat?" And they'll all say New Orleans.
Yeah.
And like, whenever I talk to my family that like goes there for like a Mardi Gras, not whatever.
Yeah.
They're always like New Orleans.
See, my sister has been there a handful of times. She loves it.
Yeah.
Like
I need to go so bad.
Yeah,
I flew over it. I've driven by it.
See, I haven't
never stopped.
I've been when I was a kid. We did a lot of traveling. And I've been to or through a lot of states west of the Mississippi. Yeah. But everything east, like I think the furthest east I've been is Cancun in Texas.
Yeah.
So, all right. What are your top 3 favorite OpTic moments in OpTic history?
Number 1, IW Champs.
Okay.
I grew up on that dynasty.
Okay.
So that has to be one. Dude, I've always think about the number 1 spot, but I never think about the number 2 or 3.
For me, anytime you give me like a list, you'd give me like a top 3 or top 5. I always struggled on the last one. Usually like my first 2 or my first 3 or 4 are instant.
You already have.
Yeah. Like no questions asked. It's always like number 3 or number 5. Like literally the last spot. You can ask me a top 100 and I'll nail the first 99. So we got IW
Actually,
champs.
Okay, this is gonna be like a weird one, but I think it's just for me though, which is BO4 Vegas.
Okay.
Winning that because that was my first ever event.
Well, first event.
And the fact that I went there and we won it, it was a different type of energy in that room.
Yeah.
So that was easy. And actually, AW Columbus, even though we lost it, it's still the moments that I got so deeply into COD. Like I loved every moment of it to the point where I'm like, I'm not missing a match the next 6 years. You know?
Yeah.
So probably those three.
Those are good answers. Mine, the first season I did this a lot. Like I just used this part to just bring up different nostalgic stuff. They changed on every episode. But I think something that, well, it's like if I'm the host, I can't say the same 3 on every single episode. It's going to get boring. Yeah, so I just use it as like nostalgic callbacks. But I think, going to Major 1 and OpTic winning in that fashion and like just surrounded by my people. Like I think Major 1 will always be a top 3 for me. Major
1's definitely top 5.
Anaheim 2013 could be like, it was my first event, but like it was so much smaller back then. But also like that's the event with Scump like bowing down, and like he said in some in one of his videos that he hates that.
He said a few times that he hates it.
Yeah, but like for me, like I love it. It's one of my favorite Scump moments. Like who's the best in the game and bow down are 2 of my favorite Scump moments of all time.
Yeah, I think it would be if I was truly like watching if I were truly like watching it in that moment,
Yeah.
But I just wasn't there yet.
Let's see. I'll do another nostalgic one. We'll keep it around Scump. I'll just give you like my top 3 Scump memories.
Yeah, do it.
I'll make it a top 5, right? Because who's the best in the game? You got him bowing down. You got his 3-piece on Aftermath S&D at UMG Chicago 2012 opening tournament in Black Ops 2 to defeat Complexity. That's the first tournament, like I said, I really watched. So like so much that happened that weekend is just ingrained.
It's there.
Yeah.
I feel that way.
So those are 3. What else? There was one other one that was like right on the top. You have him and Nate Shot dancing, Humpty Dance, 60-50.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There was one other one that was like right on the top instantly, and it's gone now. It was only there for a moment.
Yeah. Actually, I have a OpTic moment. That's in my top 5. This is gonna sound kind of weird because it's a moment for OpTic, but I just remember and I feel like I was part of the moment, which was AW X Games.
Okay.
Gold.
Yeah.
Just because I know that like not everyone has done that.
Ghost X Games too. Dude, Proofies 4-piece. Ooh.
Oh my.
Oh, here's the other one. Here was the other one. It was cross map kills with a scorpion, Slums.
Yeah, that's iconic.
Shout out Puckett. Yeah.
Shout out Puckett. I
had to think of the quote. He's getting cross map kills with a scorpion.
Scorpion.
Yeah, that
I miss Puckett so much.
Dude, he just said him and Fwiz and Courage too. Like those are 3 super iconic voices in esports history. And for me, like when I think of like dynamic duos, right? The current one is Maven and Merc. But like Courage and Maven, Puckett and Fwiz. Yeah. And then one of my favorites that I feel like no one talks about, Golden Boy and Benson. Golden Boy and Benson back in like Black Ops 2 were so good.
Yeah. See, me personally, I think one of my favorite casters, like my favorite casters right now are Mouse and Chance.
Miles has been
phenomenal to me.
He's been killing it. I don't like that his name is Miles because before him, I feel like if I went to an event and I heard someone say, "Hey, Miles," they'd be talking about me. But now it's him. And my head still turns just because like it's my name.
Yeah,
and I gotta humble myself. Be like, wait, I'm not Miles the Ross.
Yeah, and I think the best part about Miles is though, like, have you met him?
No, actually, but like everything I've heard, he's like the most down to earth, chill dude.
Oh, nicest guy ever.
Someone,
Every time I talk to him,
Boo's last episode said if I reached out, he'd probably come on the podcast.
Who said?
I think
Who said it?
I think Boozer said it on last episode.
Oh, he probably would. He is the nicest guy ever.
I
love
feel
him so
like he
much.
might come on just because we share the same name.
I
need
reach out to him.
I need to put it on my
if you need
list.
a vouch, let me know. I'll text them too.
Yeah,
'Cause
like that's the thing. Like there's more people than I thought that are like, oh yeah, I message him like daily.
I don't message him daily, but when I do message him, I don't feel guaranteed, but like I know that like so good chances are he's not gonna not respond.
Yeah,
He's such a good guy. He's so humble.
well, it's like when I was at Major 1, the last night where I had like my flight in the morning. Dude, I was up till like 2 or 3 in the morning, literally replying to every single tweet. Like, one of the other reasons that I want to achieve like fame in this space or a decent following is just I feel like I would do a good job, like getting back to people. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't have it within me to just like ignore someone.
Yeah, and I think that's why people don't understand that like these like modern day celebrities, like the actors and stuff, are as relevant and popular as like pros and streamers and stuff in like this ecosystem, which is like probably because like content creators and stuff like they're a lot better at like connecting with the fans.
Yeah,
they know how to like.
I think that's something
they know how to work
that
Twitter,
like
they know the connectivity of it.
We're seeing a shift in attention right now away from
Mainstream.
NFL, NBA, traditional sports, and more into esports. And it's, I think, like you're saying, it's because your esports athletes are able to engage and connect with you, and they're actual like reachable people. Whereas like if I shoot LeBron James a DM, he ain't never even seeing it. Like, let alone reply. He's never seeing that thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like, if I DM Scump, also probably not going to see it, but like he follows me.
Yeah.
So like,
or like for a fact that like you go through all these athletes, like they have like a PR team running their socials. So chances are, guess what? He's not looking at his DMs anyways. He probably has a burner account that he actually uses.
Yeah.
Or like if I DM like Vinny Methods because he follows me, like chances are he'll see it. Who knows if he'll reply? But I know that for a fact that he'll be the one that sees it.
Yeah.
And not some girl that's 25 just graduated college and
just running his media account. Yeah. So I think, and I think the other thing is like, and you see this a little bit from younger professional athletes, right? Like Josh Hart and like these people that also kind of are around our age and are getting into being professional athletes. Like they just kind of, they understand that. So I don't know. It's a super cool shift.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the one cool part about it is like a lot of them, like, I think Ninja helped out with it, like making it cool, the game.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. Where like a lot of these athletes, like they're not like they're so shameless now about it. Where like currently like all these pros are like it's like gaming and streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I think, that's what I do in my free time.
when I think of like the top 3 things that have pivoted gaming into the mainstream, like first and foremost is like a 3-way combo. It's Fortnite, Ninja, and Ninja playing Fortnite with Drake.
Yeah.
Like that little thing that happened threw gaming onto the map. The second thing I think of is people like T-Pain streaming on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
And then the third thing is FaZe's reach and the people that they've signed to FaZe Clan. Like I talked about it a lot in season 1 of the podcast because like I used to ask and sometimes still do like what makes OpTic special versus other organizations. One of the reasons I stopped asking that is I feel like it was too much overlap of what does the green wall mean to you and what makes OpTic special. Like the answers end up being the same. It's family, it's content, it's all that. But like I always talked about how I love that OpTic has for the most part just stuck to the roots of gaming and content. And like I grew up not liking FaZe because they came up right after OpTic and they've grown to be bigger. But I'm glad that FaZe went above and beyond and reached, they transcended gaming. Like I'm glad that it wasn't OpTic that did it but somebody needed to do it, and FaZe did, and they've done great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of stuff has happened, like the Jake thing, and a lot of stuff has happened. I feel like gaming has transcended. Like gaming is a bigger industry right now than movies.
Than anything. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
here's a crazy stat.
Go ahead.
The first media franchise to gross $1 billion. Do you know what it was?
What? I don't know.
Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, a video game franchise was the. I don't remember the exact statistic. Maybe it wasn't grossing $1 billion, but it was something crazy. And this was like when GTA 5 was in like year 1 or 2. Like this was a while ago.
Yeah.
And then if you look beyond that, if you look at the largest IP in the world, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon's IP is miles. Like it's untouchable.
And I think one thing that like really, I think gaming in this ecosystem, like streaming, gaming, is there's an authentic, this authenticity. Like, did I just say that right?
Yeah.
It's really. It's like you can tell who's not like the real person behind it and who's in it just for the money, you know?
Yeah. OpTic does have. It's like the opposite of a sellout, right? It's literal. It's just genuine authenticity.
I've seen TV shows like streamers making millions, and they're like, "How do I get into that?" and whatever. And I'm just like you have to people that don't have the passion and like the true love for it. Mm-hmm. People smell it, and they're not the big ones.
I think that's one of the downsides of gaming and streaming and content creation becoming so mainstream. It's a really saturated market now. And I feel like you see this the most on Twitch.
Yeah.
Which it's going to happen. Like everyone's going to want to chase the bag and all that. Like there's no world where we don't get there. But being like, I hate it, but like a real gamer, or just someone that was like,
or somebody that actually loves the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the community.
And like watching like people I was right after Justin.tv. Like I never watched on that, but like people that watched Justin TV and saw that switch to Twitch, like they'll understand that. Like this, it used to be a gamer streamer platform. And like good thing it's grown and gone to all sorts of things.
Which, but
like it's sad a little bit.
It's sad a little bit to see like
takes a little bit of the flavor out.
But it's also like I look at like I get to see the truth because like I can tell like when who's in it. Like when you see like a celebrity playing games or streaming and making YouTube videos, I'm like I can tell if it's because like they do it on the free time and their agency wants them to make more money.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What's going on?
Like, hey, you need to build your personal brand more.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the NBA has that now in their contract, so like, you have to send out so many tweets.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be wild. I wouldn't be surprised.
I've heard about that. And like the NFL is making I can't say I don't know for a fact, but I've seen like a couple DMs from a couple higher ups that said something about like having NFL players making YouTube channels with like vlogs like once every couple weeks.
Damn.
Showing like the workouts and the personality.
Yeah. Which like I don't like that that's in a contract, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you're working in an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic of like content and everything, if you could join OpTic or be involved in any way, what would you like to do for them?
Ooh. Okay, see, my mindset is in two places.
I'm like a 2 to 3.
Yeah, like one, like I would like to be like a manager or like a director of some sort to be able to push OpTic in the right direction, you know?
Content wise or
like as a whole. Like whether it be teams, player scouting, like whatever it is, or like
so like pretty high up in the chain of command.
Yeah, to like help like to make it like grow, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, streaming or content to make people smile, you know. Then, other than that, see, I used to want to be a pro player.
Yeah,
but then I played Scump one time at AW. I'm like, there's no shot. And now it's I know I'm not.
See, my like order of things that interest me. Like first and foremost, earliest on, I would have loved to be like a sniper. You know, if I could have joined OpTic sniping team, that would have been incredible. Then we transitioned to wanting to be a pro player, play for OpTic. That'd be great. I tell everyone, I think back in like big timers era where the skill ceiling was lower, I think I could have competed at the pro level. Now the skill ceiling's so high. And especially considering like I really haven't put a lot of time into COD the last few years. Like I'm a very average player now. Yeah. My time has passed. That ship has sailed. And even then, like I don't know if I really could have, but I was kind of nasty back in MW2 through Ghost. Then we switched to streamer content creator. You know, that grew into, you know, I started getting really into like cinematography and stuff. There was a point where I would have loved to be like a Hitch or a Roger or a Matt. Still trying to be a Matt, you know, Hex, Matt, if you guys watch or listen to this, trying to replace you, Matt.
I'm actually heavy.
But since launching this podcast, this is like the number one thing. Like I would love for this podcast to be presented by OpTic. As like, I started Token or Brandon or whatever into OpTic Texas. Like he was the first person to like really point it out to me. But like, this is he says it's the number one fan based esports podcast. And like, I think that's true, but I also think it's because I think it's the only fan based, like fan centered podcast.
Yeah.
And when I explain it to like normies and stuff at work, when I tell them I have a podcast, like we have a lot of Giants fans in my area for baseball. I go, okay, like who's your favorite team?
Yeah.
Oh, Giants or like the 49ers. I'm like, all right, cool. Imagine if there was a podcast where someone sat down with a fan of the Giants and you just got to know different fans around the world every single episode. Like that's basically what I do for OpTic.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
Like trying to bring the family closer together. So this is number one. And then like I go back and forth between, you know, streamer content / videographer. I like the streamer content idea because I don't believe I have the technical skill set for for like videographer, but also a lot of videography is more about storytelling than technicals. So like, who knows?
Creative image.
Yeah.
See, I've always felt like, for me personally, like I thought everyone had it. That was like this like dream was to like, I mean, especially like back in BO3 was to play for OpTic as a competitor.
Yeah.
And get like at champs, make some crazy play and hear the crowd go fucking wild.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm a hype man. I'm a hype man for sure. I live for that shit.
Yeah, so like that's what I always thought like that would be like the best moment in my life. Like COD champs, grand finals for OpTic, and you pop like a crazy 2-piece to win the game.
Yeah.
And you just hit the crowd erupt, you know? Like that's always been like for the longest time I was like that would be like the dream state of world for me. But now it's like, you know, making people smile, especially like fans of what I'm the fan of, would be amazing too. So that's what I work towards.
If you can meet one person with OpTic or within OpTic, who would it be? And if does your answer switch if you go from just meeting them to being able to actually hang out with them for a day?
Ooh.
Because for me, the answer does switch. If I can meet someone, it'd be Big Timer. If I could hang out with someone, it'd be Hex.
That's a good question. See, like if I'm just meeting them, I would want to re-meet Scump. Because when I met him, it was after he won BO4, and he was faded. He does not remember me.
Yeah.
Okay, he was gone. So I would like to re-meet him, and if I hang out with somebody, I don't know. I feel like hanging out with Dash would be really cool, especially during the NBA playoffs because I'm a big NBA guy.
Yeah. Who's your favorite team?
I don't support teams. I support players.
Okay.
So looking on Lakers right now.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna let that slide because I kind of do the same thing in COD esports.
Yeah.
Like I support OpTic, but there's certain players that have come into OpTic and then left that I still support. Zenny being one, Octane being another. So I can understand that. I'm a Lakers fan though. Born.
Yeah. I want LeBron to succeed.
Yeah.
Like right now, also like Luka Doncic on the Mavericks. I want to see him succeed, and I'm right now rooting for the Boston
See,
Celtics.
player wise, I really like Trae Young.
Yeah.
Like
I hear that he's super cool.
He just he has good vibes. He's a really good player. LeBron, I was born in '96. I grew up on Kobe's era of basketball, which I think was the last like tough physical era. And LeBron to me represents a shift into a softer era. And
I don't think it was on LeBron. I think it was on the refs and like the way that the league went.
I think it's
for sure players because the players are getting the money and that's why.
Yeah, and like I always say, like he's got the most impressive stats. He might be the most impressive physical specimen of an athlete we've ever seen across any sport. Like the man is truly gifted and talented, and like I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, but like he to me doesn't have like the Mamba assassin killer mentality of like I'm going to go out and break every bone in my body to ensure we win. But maybe by not doing that, that's allowed him to play at this level this late in the game.
Yeah.
Like he's taking better care of his body.
It's calculated for him.
What was that?
I think everything is calculated for him because you're not seeing another. Oh, how old is he now? 37?
Yeah.
You're not seeing another 37-year-old right now or ever come out and averaging 30 points a season.
And like a lot of that I think might be because he hasn't broken his body as much.
Yeah.
Right. But like still growing up in that era and with like Kobe, like a guy that tore his Achilles, finished the free throws and walked off the court.
Yeah.
Like.
See, I grew up where, what really got me into the NBA heavily, like until LeBron was like back late Cavs when he went to the Heat.
Before he took his talents to South Beach.
Like at that little shift.
Yeah.
When you saw him and like when you just saw him like jump out of the stadium and dunk on Terry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in that play.
Like I like
that's a good moment for me that like always cements.
He's an explosive player. Like it's the weirdest thing for me because I'm like, yeah, he might be like he is in many ways like the best basketball player we've ever seen. His stat line proves it. Yeah. But like the thing that you cannot calculate is the mentality. And for me, like that's where Jordan but I'm also a really big fan of like 80s ball too, which is just
I personally think Kobe is a top 5 to 10 player of all time just from mentality.
Oh, my number one player of all time is Magic Johnson.
I can see that.
And it's a big what if. It's like a what if he actually gets to finish his entire career and like the man, a 6'9" point guard back then? Bro, are you aware of his rookie season finals appearance when he played all 5 positions throughout that series? He dropped 42 points playing center. Like, bro, that's unreal. But his career gets cut early, and like it's all based on a big what if.
Yeah, I almost got a tattoo of when Kobe died. For Kobe, because all my mentality was always from him. Yeah, like whenever I played any sports.
Oh, that's
anything.
He's the only.
If you're finishing this shit,
he's the only celebrity death that's ever truly affected me. Yeah. Like it's always, it's shitty, Robin Williams and some of these other legends and stuff. But like when Kobe died, I was at work and I heard, and I was like ghost mode for the rest of the day. Just walking around, not talking to anyone, head down, like I could just go home. It was, and still every once in a while, like I think about it and like it just hits me. Like, dude, he grew up as like a god in my eyes.
Yeah. See, me personally, I was in Minnesota for the inaugurating event. Okay. First ever event. And remember, I was front row because we had the very, very front seats. And the news happened. And like I remember being stunned. Like I never felt this way before. Yeah. Like I was stunned. And like it was 2 hours later, and like, I was still just like stunned. Like I looked at my phone every time, and like every Twitter was all about it.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just
his
that
death
really
hit me
happened.
harder than certain family members. Granted,
It's like,
more extended family, but still, like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, it was
ooh,
that one. That's probably the first celebrity death that's put me through the ringer.
yeah,
Where after like a week or two, it still hurt. Then I remember like his birthday came up,
yep,
and that one hit even harder. I'm just like, damn.
yeah,
Like the man that I put all my mentality around when like playing any type of sport or like when I'm competing in something
same.
is gone. It hurt.
Yeah, like one of my favorite memories playing basketball. Like I don't know if I was thinking about it at the time. It's so long ago now, but like recalling what I did on the court, it was probably my best defensive performance of all time. But like,
yeah,
the mentality was just like, it was, yeah. Like it was the Mamba mentality 100%. And like, unfortunately, I don't think it really carried to the rest of the team, but I was like, no, like I'm dying on this court.
Yeah, that's the mentality that like that he
And like I did the same thing in football. Like
yeah, like basketball was one thing was like I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a good day.
Yeah, I'm like 5'8", 5'9", so I'm not like a big dude.
So I'm good at the 3-point line, but like that mentality was the one thing that got me like I'm gonna go into the jungle. Yeah. It might not be the best idea, but I'm gonna do my all.
Yeah, I think for me, so like I played football for 9 years. I was a tight end. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Again, not a big dude. Like 5'8", 5'9", like 145 pounds in high school, and like the thing that got me by was damn near flawless technique in most positions I played throughout the years. But like I'd be playing basketball as like a 4 or a 5 sometimes. Like I think part of that is like the mentality, but then also like being so used to playing tight end against other giants. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck how big you are. Like I'm gonna box you out. Like I'm gonna get physical. Like you might beat me, but you're gonna be hurting at the end of this game, and it's because of some small little 5'8" kid. Yeah.
I feel like people almost undersell Kobe's value.
Yeah.
To the modern day world.
I think people,
especially when like a lot of the athletes have his mentality, and they will give him props like Tom Brady's mentality almost. You know what I mean? Which is like it's never over. Well, it's like even if we're down, like we're going all the way in.
When I think of humans that have that mentality, like the 3 that come to mind, Jordan, not in order by the way, but Jordan, Kobe, David Goggins.
David Goggins?
Oh, if you don't know Goggins, you're about to be on some. If you think,
I feel like I know the name, but I don't know who it is. I'm sorry.
Black Navy SEAL, you've probably heard of him or seen him.
Oh,
but like, listen.
I know who it is now.
Oh, you know. Gary V is another one, like completely different world, not so physical.
And Gary V gets a lot of hate though.
Not so physical, a lot of just entrepreneurial, just like that hustle mindset. But I feel like it's that's like the entrepreneur version of it. But like Goggins has led me to do some crazy shit. Yeah. Like I encourage you, especially if you like working out, and everything, go listen to his podcast. He was on Joe Rogan twice. So the second one I think is what I really like, but like the first and second one,
I'm putting that in notes real quick,
bro. He gets me on some other shit. Like there's been times I've purposefully avoided listening. Like I just started going back to the gym after taking a long hiatus, and I'm like purposefully not listening to him, so I don't hurt myself. Because like I will die in that gym. Yeah, he's a good one. Yeah. All right, let's circle things back. I've covered a lot of the OpTic related stuff. I said we'd come back around to it, and it is time. Top Gun Maverick.
Oh my god!
So I've seen the first one twice. Once a long time ago, and then I saw the trailer for Maverick, and I went, "Damn, that's a good looking trailer. This movie looks like it's going to be really good." So we rewatched it about a week ago, and I gotta say, Maverick did fan service and nostalgia flawlessly.
Yeah, oh, perfect.
Like,
See, I wasn't alive for the first one.
obviously, same.
But my family and stuff loved it.
Yeah, it's an
So we watched it
iconic
so many times
movie.
going up the first one. Yeah. Like, so going to see it again, I'm like, I'm actually excited because I grew up with this movie to an extent.
Yeah.
You know, like being played in the house, like whenever it was on like DVD or whatever,
Yeah.
or like well, it was like played for free like on TV, the cable. Mm-hmm. It would be on. 'Cause, you know, that was a movie. So watching like in who is it? Taylor? What's that? Whatever his name is.
Miles Teller. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
he did an amazing job.
spitting image of Goose.
Dude,
like,
I know. Dude,
I probably should have
casting,
said like
perfect.
spoiler alert at some point, but like if y'all made it this far, sorry.
Fuck it.
It's in the trailer. I guess we
Like,
haven't spoiled anything.
Yeah.
We're just saying it's a good movie. But yeah,
he-
incredible
he
job.
He looked good too.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude, the
Tom
beach
Cruise
scene.
still looks great.
We were talking about that too, driving home. Like, dude, for a guy that's how old is he? Like
All those
60 or
stunts,
something?
55, I think.
But I
Yeah,
pointed it out. I was like, okay, but if you do a Mission Impossible movie like every couple of years, you don't really allow for yourself to get out of shape.
yeah, 60 years old, 59.
Yeah, he looked good.
That's insane.
But
Like,
oh man, I'm a sucker for a good 80s action movie. I'm a big Arnold fan. Top Gun. I think what's funny, the first I actually haven't seen all of them, but I want to watch all of Rainbow and I want to watch all of Rocky. I haven't seen all those either. So there's certain movies, and probably the biggest like trilogy that I'm missing that's just super iconic is Godfather. I haven't seen any of them. I just watched all the Lord of the Rings for the first time like a couple months ago. Extended edition, of course.
Nice.
I had to do it right. But like, I love 80s action movies, and the first Top Gun, the story is decent. It's not really great, but it's just like, it's a classic 80s action movie. And like the soundtrack, obviously super iconic.
Yeah. And it's just
Maverick though, Maverick I think might be one of the best sequels I've ever seen.
Oh, by far.
Movie. Like notoriously sequels are like mediocre, right? I think this was better than the first one in every way, shape, and form. Other than like it's not original because it's not the first one. But like the storytelling was better. Like I said, the nostalgia, the callbacks were amazing.
And plus, it's the technology.
The technology,
yeah.
Okay,
all of it was like so much better.
So you saw how they filmed this jet scenes, how they were actually in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I noticed this like the first jet scene when they're doing the training and stuff. I leaned over and I go, if you just look at them, you can tell they're in the back seat. Like, you can tell.
Yeah.
But still, like, you're getting raw emotions and facial expressions out of it. Mind you, there like a couple of scenes where, where there's, it's almost like they're in a stationary plane that's just like on a rig or something.
Well, some of that it has to happen.
Yeah. But still, like minimal CGI, almost all like it's like 90-something% practical effects and stuff. Miles Teller, I can't believe how much he looks like Goose.
Like he's a good actor.
He is.
He's been in a lot of good stuff. Like every time I see him, he's good.
He's in something else. But like we were talking about on the drive home too. Yeah. Like, he comes out of nowhere, blows up. He's been in tons of stuff now. But like to get into Top Gun, ooh, that's got to feel good. Not Star Wars level good, but it's just like one of those things where if you're gonna go be in Hollywood, if you're gonna go be an actor, I feel like there's certain franchises that it's just like a monumental thing to just be a part of. For me, like the biggest one would be Star Wars. Like, love it, hate it, whatever. Like, if you just get any chance at all to leave a little bit of something in the Star Wars universe, dude, if I could be an extra in Star Wars, that'd be the greatest thing I'd ever do.
Like what? Like another like iconic like series would be like Transformers.
Yeah.
Like such like
not
an iconic.
Not the best movies.
Not the best movies, but it's iconic.
It's iconic.
Our generation like grew up on like being like in a scene with Optimus Prime. Not everyone can say that they've ever been in a scene with Optimus Prime. Like everyone knows who that is.
Yeah. Like that. Anything Marvel touches. There's certain franchises. I grew up loving Fast and Furious. Don't like them now. I think they've gotten ridiculous.
I still watch everyone. That's one of my favorite movie series of all time.
I think the last one I saw, I think I actually saw 8. Was 8 the submarine?
Yeah.
So I saw 8, which I thought 7 was the last one I saw, but I did see 8, but I have not seen 9 or Hobbs and Shaw. Like, it's ridiculous. You're a street racing gang. What are you doing in space?
See, that's what the funny part. Fast and Furious is probably my favorite movie series of all time. Fast and Furious 5. Fast 5 is my favorite movie of all time.
Fast 5. See, for me, Fast 7 only gets a free pass because of the ending in Paul Walker. Yeah. Like that hard carry 7. Actually, I think 5 is way better of a movie.
That death hurt me.
Okay, I will say that was the first one that affected me. It just affected me on a much smaller scale than Kobe.
That one hurt me. That one hurt me to the point where I actually missed school the next week because of that. Yeah, see, I was so.
I feel like if I was in school when Kobe died, I'd miss. But yeah, Paul Walker's, that one affected me. Like I said, just as much smaller scale. The only celebrity deaths I can think of that would hit harder would be like Hex.
Scum, that area.
Like there's certain COD pros and people in the scene that.
Honestly, for me, like Ryan Reynolds. Because I've been watching him so long.
It would affect me differently. It wouldn't be such a punch to the gut. Kobe's like literally left me in shock. Like I had to actually process. There's not many celebrities
that would leave me like that though.
No, they're celebrities. Like it's not like they're not human, but it's like they're so unreachable. Yeah. They're not in your immediate circle. There's only a few that can somehow transcend that level of fame, and like it's like they get so high that they somehow become closer to you, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of anti-logic.
Yeah, it's like you would think the higher you get, the more unreachable you get, the more out of this world it would seem their touch is. Yeah. But some people somehow get past that and get back in. Yeah. Whatever that is.
Actually, maybe Robert Downey Jr. Because
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he got me into like those types of movies and stuff.
I was thinking of doing a TikTok series of like my favorite like theater going moments. I'm just gotta figure out like the format I want to do. But oddly enough, like the first Marvel movie I really, really remember seeing is Winter Soldier, which seems super late in the game. Like I know I've seen stuff before that. I just don't think I fully grasped what was happening and what they were building until Winter Soldier. Or maybe it's because Winter Soldier was the first one that I saw opening night.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember I was 6 years old when Iron Man 1 came out. Damn. And I remember every minute of that movie. And I remember it feeling different. That and the original Transformers with Shia LaBeouf.
See, I don't remember, I don't know if we didn't go to the theaters a lot growing up. We watched a ton of movies. I just don't remember if we went to the theaters a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like we did a lot of waiting and then renting. Like Blockbuster and Redbox and stuff.
The thing is, we couldn't go to the movies a lot though because we were constantly in sports.
Yeah,
baseball,
and that's
football,
the other thing. Football, basketball, track. My sister did cheerleading. I don't think Modern Warfare 3 was my first midnight release.
Really?
Yeah,
nice.
Dude, it was so fucking cold that night. Holy. I remember just freezing.
Ghost was mine.
Yeah, I went to MW3, Black Ops 2, Ghost. I think I went to AW's release, and then things started switching to digital.
Yeah, digital is it's funny. I went to one midnight release, then after that it was all digital.
Black Ops 2. So I went to my MW3, and then the following year, Black Ops 2, I went to midnight release, and then I remember playing all night and waking up at 10 a.m. Mind you, there's school. I wake up at 10 a.m. and no one's home. And I was just like, oh, you guys are letting me skip school. You guys didn't even bother waking me up. Okay.
I can't say though. It kind of ties with the OpTic thing with gaming. Is my dad's the one that got me into it. Every day before school, Call of Duty 2. Me and he would play a
I played
1v1
Big Red
on that.
1 on PS2.
Yeah,
Because they
I
used to
remember Call
make
of Duty
different
2.
versions of the games for like different consoles. Like Call of Duty 2 on PlayStation was Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1.
Yeah,
You had World at War, then you had World at War Finest Hour.
yeah. Which I think one of the coolest parts though, like I'm really happy for the family that I have. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Because like the one nice thing about like my dad's the one that got me into gaming so much from those 1v1s in the mornings before school. Because that was his time to spend time with me before he
Dude,
went to work and
I
stuff.
could
You know, see me at
1v1
night.
all. I think what I'm going to do, right? So, like, obviously, Modern Warfare 2 got announced. It's having its reveal on Wednesday, I believe. I think Wednesday is the official worldwide reveal for Modern Warfare 2.
Probably.
I think what I'm going to start to do, so I'm starting to stream more regularly, but I think I'm going to do like a subscriber or like if I continue to stream on Twitch, like a members only type nights where we go and just play private match sniper lobbies in Modern Warfare 2 on the 360.
That sounds lit.
I don't know how like popping it'd be because I don't know how many people have access to it still.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I guess I could try to run it on like IW4X if I still have that installed. But like, I love snipers only private matches and 1v1ing. I could do that shit for hours.
Oh, that it's
Like,
it's a drug.
Yeah.
I've always thought about it like the nice part about my dad getting me into gaming is he knows how much it means to me and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, every day, every year, he knew like.
It's like, okay, you're
And
missing
I was
school
like-
this Friday to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it was always this thing where it's like I'm lucky with him. Like I never really had to play hooky, so I would be like, hey, my grades are at least decent.
They're good
We're
enough. Yeah.
Like, do you mind if I take this day off? Even if like the new game's not out or whatever.
See,
like, can I just take a day off? I mean, and then he's like, okay.
See,
But, like it was like new COD's out. You're not going to school. Okay, see you tomorrow morning.
I was weird about that because like I never really pushed for like time off and stuff when I was in school. And like mind you, I did like all honors and AP classes, like straight A student. Like I was a good student. And I probably if I wanted to, I probably could have just asked and basically gotten whatever days off I wanted because like I was doing good enough in school. But
Well,
like
I didn't ask
I
you to,
liked
like,
school.
so-
Like a lot of people have like a really negative taste in their mouth. And don't get me wrong, I fucking hate school. But like I liked going to school. I liked seeing all my friends, hanging out.
Yeah.
Like I was good at pretty much every subject. Like I hated English, but I was still good at it. So it's like I didn't dislike going to school. But again, I don't like school. I think school is stupid. I think it's a waste of time for most people.
Yeah.
I think the structure needs to
Especially-
completely
I
change.
think a lot of people are realizing now that you don't need a college degree to be successful.
Yeah, and we're living
that's taking
in
a big part away from like what's the point of going to school now?
well, a lot of the education structure is still around like factory worker mentality and not like this
yeah.
creative era that we're living in. So
Don't get me wrong though, we do need factories still. People to work in the factories.
Yeah.
But like for the overall, like not everyone.
But it's like-
wants to go do that and stuff. Like some people need to be
well,
in
and
that.
a lot of like I feel
progressive-
like a lot of factory related work is actually a little bit more trade oriented.
yeah, than
than-
anything else.
Yeah, it's like you don't really need like a certain level of foundational education maybe. But like
Yeah.
to go work in a factory, and I feel like that's way too broad of a term really.
Yeah,
like-
'cause there's so many different types.
Yeah. Like I'm sure you need a certain amount of education to work in like a Tesla gigafactory,
Yeah.
right? But also like how much of that is like school versus trade? Like traditional education versus trade. I feel like a lot of it's trade. Like a lot of people like on the job, hands-on learning. That's where they learn the
I
most.
feel like you learn that though, like when you go to certain states. Like right now, I'm in Florida, but I grew up in Indiana, out
yeah.
in the country, where like a lot of my friends, like they have a few of them have degrees to be like mechanics and stuff, but only like half my class went to college, and half of them are working on like farms and other shops
see-
and stuff like that because they grew up like working on it and they have experience, which kind of like is basically their college degree.
Yeah.
'Cause they grew up in those
Well,
shops.
in most fields and industries, like the experience, the actual
Kind of.
experience has way more value than the book experience. right?
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to go to the surgeon that passes classes with the highest grade, or you're going to go to the surgeon that's performed 10,000 surgeries?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he's got the reps in.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of people.
How many people? How many people listening, or how many people do you know of whose PE teacher was fat? Right.
Yeah.
Like, tons of PE teachers are freaking super out of shape, but it's like they know the things,
but they don't know
like,
how
I'd
to
rather
apply.
train with fucking Rocky.
like if you told me
Like this guy's Rocky's basically
like,
an idiot, but he understands training like no one else.
Like something like Jason Statham, The Rock, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's like I truly feel like even Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Like and knows his stuff. Like I would rather go work out with them than my 5th grade PE
Yeah.
teacher. They know what they're doing.
Who went through the classes. Yeah. So I don't know. Trade, like where I live, it's a lot of like, you see a lot of construction work. You see a lot of manual labor jobs. See a lot of minimum wage jobs. You see a lot of manual labor jobs, and then you see some stuff like everywhere has, which is like, hospitals and stuff. It's like every city has yeah. What else? I think that about wraps up. Is there anything that you want to go over or talk about?
I don't think so. It's been a great time. It's
been good, dude. It's been.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, the conversations kind of go all over the place. One thing I do at the end of every episode, I give people their kind of hot ones moment to tell people what you're up to, where they can find you to follow you. If you do any sort of content, just shout yourself out, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah. I want to do YouTube. I probably won't for a while. I'm kind of busy in life at the moment.
Okay.
But soon, my life's getting back to normal, so I'm going to start streaming again. Very soon at twitch.tv/the JDog, but the O is a 0. Okay. Sadly, somebody took my username.
Oof.
I changed it for 2 days, and somebody took my username.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
It was a bad day, but you know what? What's the line? Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, man. It's been a blast for sure. Only gamer I know of that's rocking AirPod Maxes. If you guys want to go check him out, I'll link all of his different platforms in the description below, as always. Thanks again for coming on, man, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.